In today's headlines, senior PTI leader 𝐄𝐧𝐠𝐸 announced a symbolic hunger strike outside Parliament, demanding the National Assembly Speaker's intervention regarding actions against the party and its leaders. This follows former Premier Imran Khan's consideration of a hunger strike if justice is denied. Recently, police raided PTI's central office over alleged anti-state digital campaigns and arrested the party's information secretary Rauf Hassan. In Khyber, Pakhtunkhwa, the issue of good Taliban militants who have surrendered to security forces was a key topic in the meeting between Chief Minister Ali Amin Gandapur and the Banu Aman Jirga. The Jirga presented 16 demands including ending patrols of surrendered Taliban militants and requesting increased police resources. They also demanded the restoration of internet services and a judicial inquiry into recent civilian deaths. Following PLMN's lead, the PPP filed a review petition against the Supreme Court's decision on reserved seats. The ruling declared PTI eligible for seats for women and minorities, affecting Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's alliance. The PTI now stands to become the largest party in the National Assembly. The PPP's petition claimed the court didn't address if the SIC should get the reserved seats and questioned if the reserved seats could go to a party with no candidates in the general election. In Karachi, a severe traffic jam occurred in Sindh Governor House due to a heightened security for the Bora community leader visit. Several roads were closed, causing congestion in surrounding areas. Later, Sindh Governor Kamran Tesori addressed the media with Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin, the Bora community's spiritual leader. The Gaza government media office reports that 39,000 people have been killed in Israel's war on Gaza, with 10,000 others missing. Among the dead are 34 children due to malnutrition, 10,859 women, and 163 journalists. There are also 310 detained healthcare providers, and 7 mass graves have been found inside hospitals containing 520 bodies. The conflict has left almost 90,000 wounded, with 70% of the victims being children and women. Additionally, 166 shelter centers have been targeted by the Israeli military, and 17,000 children are now living without one or both parents. The government media office also reports that 12,000 wounded people and 3,000 patients with various diseases need to travel abroad for treatment. The Rafah border crossing to Egypt remains closed, blocking the only route out of Gaza. There are 10,000 cancer patients needing treatment, 1.7 million people suffering from infectious diseases, and 60,000 pregnant women at risk due to a lack of health care. Meanwhile, various Palestinian factions have signed the Beijing Declaration in China to end their divisions and strengthen unity. The declaration was signed at the closing ceremony of a reconciliation dialogue among 14 Palestinian factions, including Fatah and Hamas. China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi praised the agreement and emphasized international support for maintaining peace and stability in the Middle East. Adel Khor from the UN Children's Agency reported that 2 clearly marked vehicles carrying children were hit by live ammunition near the Wadi Gaza checkpoint. Fortunately, no injuries occurred, and the mission to reunite the children with their father was completed successfully. Khor stressed that humanitarian workers must not be targeted. The Palestine Olympic Committee has called for Israel's exclusion from the Paris 2024 Olympics, citing violations of international law and the Olympic truce. The UN General Assembly resolution mandates a truce from July 19 to September 15, 2024, but Israel's actions have been criticized for violating this truce. Lastly, the UN Human Rights Office has reiterated that there is no safe place in Gaza amid ongoing Israeli attacks. The office raised concerns about the Israeli military's compliance with its obligation to protect civilians and minimize harm during conflict. In Bangladesh, industry leaders have gathered at Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's office during a nationwide curfew and military presence. They are urging the end of the curfew and the restoration of internet service, citing concerns about the Dhaka-Chattogram highway and the border economy. Student protests against job quotas have led to violent clashes, resulting in at least 146 deaths. Although the Supreme Court reduced the quotas on Sunday, students continue to demand justice for those killed. The curfew and internet blackout remain in effect. The economic impact has been severe, with losses exceeding $1.2 billion in the past 5 days. Key sectors are struggling. The garment industry, steelmaking, pharmaceuticals, and e-commerce are all experiencing significant disruptions. The internet shutdown has particularly affected e-commerce call centers and various businesses, causing daily revenue loss. Sheikh Hasina stated that the curfew was imposed to protect lives and property and will be gradually erased. The government is working to restore internet connections and address the economic damage, but recovery will take time. Kamala Harris is set to hold her first 2024 presidential campaign rally in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Following President Joe Biden's withdrawal from the race, Biden's exit has raised questions about his age and fitness for another term. While Harris is not yet the official Democratic nominee, she has reportedly secured enough delegate votes. Her campaign has gained momentum, raising over $100 million with significant backing from top Democrats and 62% of donations from the first-time contributors. Harris is focusing on key states such as Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, and aims to appeal to independents and young voters in Wisconsin. Despite Republicans' criticism over her handling of border issues, Harris emphasizes her focus on addressing migration's root causes and her campaign's priority, including reproductive health care and defending democratic institutions. She contrasts her vision with Trump's, who is facing multiple legal challenges and denies any wrongdoing. In related news, Kimberly Sheetal, the head of the United States Secret Service, is resigning following an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Sheetal announced her resignation via email, taking responsibility for security lapses during Trump's July 13 rally in Pennsylvania, where he was shot in the ear. Sheetal described the incident as the most significant operation failure at the Secret Services in decades, and assured that measures will be taken to prevent such failures in the future. India's government has unveiled a $576 billion budget focused on job creation and key coalition partners' regions. The budget includes $32 billion for rural programs, $24 billion for job creation over 5 years, and $5 billion for 2 coalition-ruled states. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman emphasized employment, skilling, small businesses, and the middle class. The budget also includes reforms in land and labor. India cut its fiscal deficit target to 4.9% of GDP for the fiscal year, ending March 31st, 2025. Aided by a $25 billion central bank surplus, gross market borrowing was slightly reduced to 14.01 trillion rupees. The budget aims to balance growth support and fiscal discipline, but faces challenges in implementing reforms due to potential state pushback. Measures include incentives for company training and cheaper education loans. Tax changes include raising the equity investment tax to 20% for short-term holdings and 12.5% for long-term holdings, effective immediately. Taxes on equity derivatives will increase from October 1st. Shares and the rupee fell initially but recovered, with markets ending down 0.13%. The changes are expected to stabilize the market and attract long-term investment. Corporate tax for foreign companies has been reduced to 35% to boost investment.